Earlier this year, the University of Michigan acknowledged it was investigating sexual abuse and misconduct by a former university doctor who'd spent more than 3 decades at the school. One of hundreds of alleged victims, former Michigan football player Chuck Christian, is giving his first network interview while pursuing a lawsuit against the school. Now a husband, father, and grandfather, Christian is also dying of prostate cancer. He blames his late diagnosis on the trauma he says he suffered at the hands of his team doctor.
They found that I had prostate cancer and that it was stage 4, and it had spread to my spine, my hips, my tailbone, my shoulders, my ribs, and that's why they were giving me 3 years to live.
Over 4 years ago, doctors told Chuck Christian he likely wouldn't make it past his 60th birthday. We met him on the day he celebrated his 61st.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
What have your doctors said now? They gave you 3 years. You're beyond that now.
We're just gonna keep taking it one day at a time.
Christian believes his life is being cut short because of his sheer terror when it comes to doctors, a fear that dates back to his football playing days at the University of Michigan in the 1970s. That's when he says he was molested by the team doctor, Robert Anderson.
He did the regular stuff, turn your head and cough, turn your head and cough. Then when he said to bend over and he put on a rubber glove and snapped it, I'm like, what is he doing? And then when he inserted it, it was painful, and I screamed like a little baby. And then he said to me, you feel pressure, don't you? I said, no, I feel pain. I know the difference between pain and pressure.
Did you say something to anyone right after the exam?
Yes, I said something to one of my new friends that I have, and he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, man, I feel violated. When I talked to the upperclassmen, they said the same thing. They said, yeah, he's going to do that to you for 4 years. I'm like, oh, God.
He says he accepted it as a normal part of annual physicals required to play college football.
I figured maybe this is just something I have to deal with to be able to play on the level of Michigan football.
But for decades, he says he was scarred, avoiding doctors and tests at all costs, even when he was showing symptoms.
I was about 45 and I started having problems with my prostate. And the doctors put on the glove and snapped it, and my brain just went zip right back to Anderson. And he said, I want to do a digital exam on you. And I said, no, you're not going to do that to me.
And how much longer did you go before you finally had that exam?
Another 10 years.
10 years, he believes, too late.
I got like 8 grandkids, and I'm like, I want to spend time with my grandkids. And I don't know how much time I got. I really don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot to process.
The University of Michigan recently acknowledged the sexual misconduct by Dr. Anderson, and in February revealed findings of an investigation. Christian learned he was one of hundreds of alleged victims.
What did you think when you knew I wasn't alone, there are other people that went through this?
I felt like, yeah, I wasn't alone, but then I felt like Michigan dropped the ball. And when they came to my house and talked to my mom, they said, we're going to take care of your son. And they didn't. They didn't protect us. And then when I found out later on that Don Canham knew that Anderson was doing things, he was the athletic director, and he knew, but he didn't do anything about it. He just let it happen.
Canham and Dr. Anderson have both since died. Christian is now suing the university for accountability, claiming it failed to protect him when he was a student.
Have you found closure at this point?
What I did, I've learned to forgive. And I forgave Anderson for what he did to us. But I didn't forgive him for him. I forgave him for me so that I can be free and that I can be the granddad and the dad that I should be. I'm not going to let him ruin any more of my life.
And Chuck Christian's health since we did that interview has deteriorated. While he knows he'll likely not see the outcome from the lawsuit, he's hoping that by sharing this story, he can help put systems in place to prevent other players from going through what he did. A University of Michigan spokesperson told us it's conducting an independent investigation into the allegations that will allow it to better prevent abuse from happening in the future. The university says it can't provide any further comment, though, due to the ongoing litigation. I'm obviously an alum of the university. I've gotten several letters from them. They are reaching out, asking anybody who attended the school in that span to say something if they were also an alleged victim if something happened. But with Chuck being so public as a football player, it had such an impact on other people feeling the strength to come forward to say
And the key is systems in place.
Yeah.
Systems to prevent
and this is not the
from
only
happening.
school. This happened at Ohio State also, and people are able to tell their stories now because they feel like they have some power and hoping for accountability now.
That's going to make an impact.
Yeah, it really will, because somebody took that first step.